All right, what's going on, guys? Just starting up the live stream. I got pretty much. I'm gonna have a special, about 2-3 minute video for Jelly Bean because Jelly Bean asked for Jelly Bean's dad, Mr. Ben, who's a University of Miami fan, even though Jelly Bean is not. But what can we do about that? She asked for she had a couple questions and wanted me to go over a couple things. So I'm gonna show you guys some tricks, and then we're gonna talk about it. And then after that, I'm gonna color in my doodle note sheet that I never did. So it's about 4:20, so maybe I go to about 4:30, 4:45. We'll see what happens because I still gotta walk home, working on that beach body, of course. What's up, Chewy? Now, who is Chewy again? I can't remember. You guys got to help me out with names some more. We need to live stream more often so I can remember this. Oh, my buddy Alex. Hey, Alex, remember, I'm not going to be here tomorrow, man. You guys got to walk by yourself. What's up, Kyler? Here we go. Hey, remember subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Trying to go to, trying to get up so I can get a custom URL and go from there. RT Way. Hey, is RT Way GT? That's Nick, right? Nick, funny guy. Hey, so the first thing I'm gonna go over is my buddy Mr. Ben, Jelly Bean's father, had a couple questions, and it's gonna help out everybody. And the first one was, we'll do number one. We'll say, circle it, and then we're gonna do 25 times 2 over 5. Okay. So then we need to figure out. How to solve this. Okay. You know what? I'm at the write the next one kind of smaller. So the first thing we need to do is we need to rewrite this problem. So the way we would rewrite this problem is we got to turn the whole number into an improper fraction. So 25 over 1 times 2/5. And then we just cross multiply. We do 25 times 2 is 50. And then we do 1 times 5, which gives us 50 over 5. And then we have to simplify that. So if I slide this down to simplify 50 over 5, we would go ahead and we would divide it by 5. Because I know that the largest number that goes into 5 is 5, and that same number goes into 50. So I know that we're just going to divide by 5 to the top, to the bottom. I know that 5 divided by 5 is 1. It's getting too big for me. Is 1. And then I know 50 divided by 5 is 10. It's the greatest common factor. Okay? So now this is how I'm teaching you guys right now. Next week, we're going to learn a trick, right? So our trick for next week is we're going to do something called cross. We're going to try and think of the proper word. We're going to cross multiply. And the way we do that is very similar to what we did. When we first start with our original problem, 25 2/5. we need to write it as an improper fraction, 25 over 1 times 2/5. But where this gets a little bit different is if I know 5 and 25 share a multiple. I know 5 goes into 5 one time. So I do 5 divided by 5, cross this out and put 1. And then I take this, I take my denominator and I go to my numerator, and I know 25 divided by 5 is 5. So I cross that out. So in return, I can do 5 times 2 is 10. And I could do 1 times 1 is 1. And I know that 10 over 1 equals, write it down. I'm going to have to see where I can write this because I ran out of room. I know that 10 over 1 equals 10. Now what that does is that just saves us a couple steps. That keeps us from having to simplify if we cross multiply. Okay? So the second problem I want to show you guys before I start coloring, and then the stream's gonna just turn into Mr. Savage coloring. Let me get an eraser real quick. The second problem I want to go over. Let me erase this really good. I'm gonna turn it this way so we can get the whole board. Is we're gonna go over 4. Oh no, I did this wrong. We're gonna do 3/4 times 16. Yeah, I noticed you're the only one watching, Nick. Does anybody get a hold of Jelly Bean? Yeah, I'm still at school. So we're gonna do 3/4 times 16. And the first thing we need to do is we need to rewrite the problem. The way we rewrite the problem is we turn 16 into an improper fraction. So we're going to do 3/4 times 16 over 1. Now we could do this one of two ways. We could do it the way I was just showing you, where we cross multiply, or we could just do 3 times 16, which would be 32/48. And then 48 over 4, and then we would have to simplify. The way I would prefer to do this is I would prefer to cross multiply. I know that 4 goes into 4 one time. I know that 4 goes into 16 4 times. Okay? Now 1 and 3 I can't simplify anymore. I can't cross multiply. So the only thing I got left to do is 3 times 4 equals 12, and then 1 times 1 is 1. And it would be the same thing if I did 3 times 6, which would give me 48, and 4 times 1 would have gave me 4. And then I would have to divide both sides by 4, which would have gave me 12. 48 divided by 4 is 12. 4 divided by 4 is 1. So I would have ended up with the same answer, but this way is simpler and a lot easier. Okay? Last thing I need to do is 12 over 1 is an improper fraction. So I need to turn that into a whole number. So this section of the video right here was for Mr. Ben and Jelly Bean. And if you guys ever have questions you want me to go over, I have no problem doing it. If your parents have questions, let me know. We'll go over it, okay? So then let me go ahead. I got to figure out how to thumbnail this real quick so I can create a highlight. There we go. Start time and time. Get player time. Public. I know we're going to try this Jelly Beans. Let me see what's going on. For some reason. Oh, I messed this up. We'll figure this out later. So the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to go over to Doodle Sheet. Okay, guys? You know what? I don't know if I got any sheets. Alright, so I'm going to stop the stream for a second so I can rename it, and then I'll come right back online.